Welcome, we're part of the Listening Hour team, and we're here to do a demo for what happens in the breakout rooms and the roles of three different people: the listener, the speaker, and the silent witness. You can see we've changed our names to show which role we're in. And we don't have the broadcast messages, so we've got Nick's doing the timer for that, but when you're in your breakout rooms, you'll see broadcast messages telling you how it works. So the speaker gets to speak for 4 minutes, and the listener reflects back for up to 1 minute. And then the speaker gets to speak for another 4 minutes, and the listener reflects back for 1 minute. So as the speaker, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to self-connect and be heard. And if I've got lots of things going on in my life, I will choose just one or two things to be heard for. And we've organized it so that the listener gets up to 1 minute and the focus is on the speaker, and the listener's really listening for feelings and needs and reflecting back what they hear the other person say without interpretation or advice. The role of the silent witness is really important. Having that person being present, silently hearing while you're expressing yourself is very beneficial, and all the roles are important. So we'll go into the demo now. And so I'll start as the speaker. Next, will you set the timer?
Okay. Okay.
I want to share about a dilemma that I have. I've been invited by a friend to meet up, and I've realized that I've been avoiding seeing them because I find them very confident about their work, confident about their parenting, confident in themselves. And I notice that I feel quite insecure when I'm with them. And now I think this is a good indication of that I would like to be building my confidence. So I'm glad that it's flagged up in a way. So I'm really grateful for them for contacting me to see if I can meet them. That's really reassuring and gives me confidence. And then there's also this kind of challenge, like there's something else that I want to do tonight. There's a training. So I've got just a direct clash. So do I see them? Do I do this training that I really, really want to do? And it's a bit like giving in to, yeah. So what do I value? How do I guide my choices? And yes, I'm comfortable to feel so vulnerable. So I'm not sure if I should just say yes and live with all that discomfort and hold myself. I'm going to be with them, and I'm going to have to really work on holding myself, and maybe that's really good practice for me. But it's really uncomfortable I just want to be seen and be seen for me. Like, yes, I have these vulnerabilities around my parenting and these vulnerabilities around my confidence and my work. And I'd just like to be able to be me, be like that, and not have to kind of be any different when I'm with them. Yeah, that was so distracting, my partner coming in and getting the dog. But I think I'll just name it and just say, you know, that's good, isn't it? Life happens. And I'm still having the space to be heard and have some empathy for it, and give myself some empathy. Well, yeah, how can I be with them and enjoy their confidence and enjoy, we have really fascinating conversations. I love hearing the way they think and what they're up to, and I guess we're just different. It's so uncomfortable to be with that difference. Like, how can I be confident in myself to be this way, that I can be in touch with my vulnerabilities and I can be a bit insecure and still be in relationship with them and still be and know that they appreciate me and still want to hang out with each other. I guess that's what I need to tell myself, that I don't have to be any different. And it's kind of urgent because I need to reply to their text. And I was thinking, oh, well, I can shift it to the next week, but then I know I've got a class that evening as well. So it's awkward. So I feel really like, I need to know what to do now. I've got to make a decision now. It feels like really stressing. And do I mention all this to them, or do I hold it for myself?
Thank you. That was the timer. Yeah, I'm hearing this dilemma about what to do tonight, and possibly seeing a friend, possibly doing a training. And in relation to seeing a friend, I heard lots of feelings, a feeling of feeling insecure, really heard a need around authenticity, wanting to be yourself with your friend as you are. So yeah, authenticity, and also heard the need for confidence and maybe trusting yourself and accepting yourself as you are and not in comparison with this person. I think those are the needs that I was hearing. Back to you.
Yeah, I can feel a softening, especially, I can't remember exactly the words he used, but something about wanting to be myself. I feel quite tearful, actually, wanting to be myself. Okay, right. So there's some grief there, the gap between how I feel that I need to be with this person and how I feel like I am with this person. And that's pointing to, yeah, real needs for growth and progress and flow in my parenting and in my work and all of my relationships. That's what I want for myself. And it's I feel a bit sad that things aren't the way that I'd always like them to be. It's helpful to just make a bit of space for that and feel that sadness. And I'm trying not to rush myself into the next step, like, that's okay. It's really okay. Because, yeah, just to acknowledge there are some things that haven't been easy. And here I am. That's what's brought me to this place, feeling the way that I feel. And wishing that some things were a bit different. So what would it be like to spend time with them and have those vulnerabilities, whether or not I speak about them, and be with them and hear about their news and hear about what they're thinking, and just see what it's like with us when we're together, actually in the moment, rather than having an idea about how it should be. I guess I've got lots of judgments, like I keep saying, that I should be different. But also maybe that they should be different. So what would it be like just to be with what is, the way they are and the way I am? Notice my feelings, notice what comes up, the discomfort. This is a real question that I have. How do I hold myself when I'm uncomfortable? Instead of seeking the reassurance or whatever it is from the other person. So what could I do? Maybe I could just notice when I'm with them, make a bit of space for feeling sad, and say, okay, you know, I can feel a bit sad about the difference and not want myself to be different in the moment. That's kind of welcoming myself while I'm with them. Yeah, some kind of really more friendly relationship with myself. I can imagine myself being with myself and her. So it's going to take a little bit more. It's not the most relaxing meetup. And that's lovely when things are really relaxing and things flow and I feel completely got by my friends. And I realise that not all friendships are like that. And they have other qualities. And this person I really enjoy talking to, and really, really love hearing the way they're thinking about things. And then when I hear that, I come up with things that I think I'm glad that I'm thinking about too.
That was the timer. I'm saying that because people might not be able to hear it. Thank you, Lottie, for this. Yeah, I think I was hearing mourning coming up several times, sadness in difficulties that you've had in your life, and also in accepting yourself as you are. I think some sadness around that. That might not be completely accurate, but hearing some sadness. And I also heard you wonder about how to really be and accompany yourself if you do decide to be with your friend, go out with your friend today. How to kind of be with that sadness if it comes up. I think I heard you name the possibility of even naming that while, in real time. I heard you exploring these different options of ways of supporting yourself and holding yourself and accompanying yourself with this person. So I think I'm hearing, this need for self-acceptance and self-support.
That was the minute.
Thank you, Kerry. Thanks, Nix.
Thank you.
So just taking a moment to come back, and if we were in the breakout rooms, you'd be receiving a broadcast message to rotate the roles now.
Yeah, I would be the next speaker, Nix would be the next listener, and Lottie would just hold space and rest for a little bit.
So after the demo, we're going to do a debrief and draw out some learning points and things to think about that have stood out for us that we want to share. For me, I realized there were lots of silences and the 4 minutes felt quite long. And I chose to take that time and sit with it and feel into myself and sometimes feel into the discomfort, awkwardness of the length of time. And then also the person coming in to the room, I found that really distracting. And after processing a bit, I realized that I could just name it, and that really calmed me and allowed me to get back into the process. And at one point I was feeling quite vulnerable while I was sharing, and I noticed Nix and looked at her face and remembered that I was being witnessed and held in this. And I found that really grounding. Kerry, do you want to talk about what you noticed?
Yeah, I want to just say that in my first 1 minute, I didn't take the whole time. I said a few reflections and I guessed a feeling and a need, and then I said back to you. So that would just mean the speaker would have a little bit more time, and you don't have to speak for the whole length of time as listener. What about you, Nix? What did you notice?
Yeah, I was sort of noticing then when Lottie was saying about there were silences, and sometimes particularly the first 4 minutes seems very long, and you sort of think, what else can I say? And it's often good if you can just take that space and just sit with it and allow your thoughts to settle. And sometimes that's when the little thing really comes to the fore. So I'd encourage you to use that time.
The listening hour has a structure and a form that really allows people to self-connect and process and move through feelings, get in touch with needs, and evolve into what they need in that moment. So we really urge you to stick to it. And sometimes things can go a bit off, and we're going to demo what can happen in a breakout room and one of the ways that you might be able to handle it. So I'm going to go back into my speaking role now. And Kerry's listening to me. I just feel when I'm spending time with them quite insecure about myself. And so imagining being with them, I can feel quite small and inadequate. And that's really uncomfortable to have that come up. And I can't help thinking that I should be different somehow. Yeah. And I'm not sure how to handle it. It's a very uncomfortable place to be.
When I reflect back, I think it's my time now. I'm hearing your lack of confidence, and I really think you should be more confident, because you've got so much to offer. I can see that you've got so much to offer, and I'm really rooting for you. You're just as good as your friend. I think you should just believe in yourself more.
Kerry, this is landing awkwardly in me as advice. And I'd really appreciate if we could go back to feelings, needs, and reflecting back the words that I say.
Okay, thank you. I got a bit carried away. Yeah, okay, feelings and needs. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah. So now we'll just talk a little bit about what happened in that last demo. So Lottie, why I gave some advice. Why didn't that advice work for you? What happened for you? What was the impact on you?
I was in my feelings and I was being held with trust, beginning to really drop into trust in myself and feeling that I was held in this group. And being able to do that allowed me to connect with what's really important with me. And the advice kind of blocked that and put me into more of a logical part of myself. And it stopped me from being able to evolve the next step from where I actually am in a way that actually means the things to me from the context that I'm in. So to try and kind of logically come up with a solution instead of having that trust in myself and in the process for my next step to blossom.
So it kind of really blocked your feeling. It blocked the process you were in, because I was in my head and telling you what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it felt really good to be able to say, this isn't working, request for the process to get back on track.
It was really good to witness that, actually, to hear that. I sort of really enjoyed hearing that unapologetic no, and requesting the stop, and not having to be responsible to make sure that the listener was okay with it.
Thanks for that, Nix. So it felt good to be able to honour my own experience and speak for it and request that I could get back into my own experience. And I was also wondering if I should ask Kerry what the impact of that no or that getting back on track was for her. But I realised that we're in the listening hour, it's held, it's timed, and it was my time for empathy. So in that case, I didn't need to take care of Kerry.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we have an agreement, and part of that agreement is to not give advice. And I came in with advice. So Lottie, you were kind of in the space of the agreement and saying no. And you even said that's landing awkwardly for me, or something like that. Can we get back to listening, feelings and needs? So that's a really helpful thing to be able to say in your group. If you receive something that lands awkwardly, you can just say something like that. That's landing awkwardly for me. I would really like feelings and needs guesses to kind of give an unapologetic no, and to get yourself back on track if someone has come into the space in a way that's not helpful for you.
Yeah,